В общем, я дважды чуть не загнал лошадь, но за день сделал почти все задачи, которые нам нарезали. Это, знаете, если бы у игрока еще оставались какие-то дела, и он поторопился и пошел на сюжет, то тогда вот эти задачи, они снова они раскиданы по всему миру, и они заставят тебя снова прокатиться везде, все посмотреть, везде побывать и, соответственно, доделать свои дела. Но так как у нас делов нет, это просто унылые точки, по которым нужно было быстро пролететь и из разряда «подай, принеси». Так, я примерно представляю, кого мне нужно найти. Ну, по поводу лекаря-то ладно. Это либо ее воробейшество, либо этот, которого мы уже запрягали разок.
God watch over you, good night, especially in these dark times. Can I do something for you?
How are things going here?
Quite well. It's a lot of work, but I have a feeling I'm doing something useful. Johanka and brother Nicodemus showed me what to do, and I already know a thing or two.
Sounds good.
I have a roof over my head, enough to eat, and they even pay me a bit. It's really quite fine.
I'm glad to hear it. And you've had no trouble from anyone?
No, everyone has been kind. It's sweet of you to care, Henry. God be with you.
И раньше делала очень полезные, добрые дела. Не надо принижать свои заслуги.
Do you happen to know the whereabouts of Conrad Kaiser?
But of course, he's staying with our local custodian. That's the big house in the courtyard by the monastery. God be with you.
I could do with a bite to eat.
Где? Где он? Воробишка где?
What happened to Johanka?
Nothing good, I'm sorry to say. She was locked up by the papal inquisitor Bishop Yaroslav of Benešov. It seems he'd somehow caught wind of this preaching of hers. He's accused her of spreading heresy and had her placed under arrest.
Jesus Christ. What's going to happen to her?
I don't know, Henry. It all depends on the inquisitor and how he decides. The accusations brought against Johanka are very serious.
В ересе сожгут на костре. А может, мы ничего не будем делать? Наша проблема самоустраниться.
Well, we must do something.
Well, you can try talking to Bishop Yaroslav. He can tell you more. As a servant of the royal hetman, your name ought to carry some weight with him. But watch your step. This matter is entirely in the hands of church law, so you mustn't overestimate your lay authority here.
Right. I'll go and see this Bishop Yaroslav of Benešov.
May God go with you. And thank you, Henry. I'm glad you're standing up for Johanka. If you need anything, do come and see me.
I've come to ask for help.
Again? Such trying times we live in. God is testing us all. So what is it you need?
Their lordships have laid siege to Talmberg, and the brigands have wounded Sir Divish and many other people. I'm to ask if the monastery might send someone to help.
These are tragic times. Fortunately, I've only a little work left to do here, so I'll gather my things and set off for Talmberg.
Thank you, Father. May God reward you 1,000 times.
See you later.
Надо же, какой неожиданный... Неожиданнейший поворот. Может быть, если я спасу ее от костра, она... Хотел сказать правильное слово, но может она просто отвянет от меня со своими грехами.
Oh, come on. What are you trying on here?
Ты меня
Good day
помнишь?
to you. What do you need?
Is this where Conrad Kaiser lives?
Indeed. The world-renowned Conrad Kaiser.
World-renowned?
If not yet, then soon. Our Master Kaiser is a mastermind. You wouldn't believe the things he comes up with. You'll be hearing more of him, you mark my words.
I need to speak to him.
Oh, really? Whatever for?
Tobias Fayfar has sent me. He is asking Master Conrad for help with the siege of Talmberg.
Must be important then. Go in. Well, I don't know how he can help from here. Here's the key.
You look bored.
Beyond tears.
How can you be bored here in Sasau, in such a holy place, filled with knowledge?
Don't even talk to me about it. They won't let you touch the books. They don't want to talk to you. And when I wanted to look at the remains of St. Procopius, at least, they ran me off. Me! Like some kind of thief. What good is the whole blasted monastery if I can't even do that?
Well, they say there's not much left of poor Procopius.
What's that got to do with anything?
I'm not blaming you. It's just that only monks have access to the reliquary in the crypt. Folk were even taking relics away from St. Procopius' cave for protection before. Now no one's allowed in there.
I know. But I'd never dream of doing that. I just wanted to touch them for luck.
Maybe I could help you.
How? You're not planning some mischief, are you?
No, not at all. I was going to bring you something from the cave under the monastery where he spent his time. You can get in there, you could touch it for luck, and then I'd return it.
Oh, now. You'd do that for me?
Of course.
Then I'd be very grateful to you.
I've got a bowl for you from the cave of St. Procopius.
A bowl? I was expecting something a little different.
Behold!
Ah! Is it really from St. Procopius?
Yes. From his cave, a truly astonishing place. This surely has miraculous powers.
You're right. My God, you're right. Such holiness. I'm in your debt, Henry. How can I repay you?
Thanks, but I don't want anything. I was glad to help.
Truly? Well, thank you.
My pleasure.
And Henry,
Yes?
I just wanted to touch it for luck. If you took something you shouldn't have, I expect you'll put it back. See you later.
Ой, храни тебя Господь за то, что веришь во всякую херню.
I know about you and her. She told me everything.
Oh? What exactly do you mean? You'd better be very careful what you say, boy.
I know you're a married man, but you haven't always been entirely faithful to your wife.
How dare you!
And you had to pick Johanka. I know all about it. And you should know it's finished. Johanka was feeling vulnerable when it was all too much for her. That's all. She and Matthias care for each other, so leave them alone. She doesn't want to have anything more to do with you. And she won't.
How dare you speak like that to a noble? You, a blacksmith's brat from Skalitz. If you weren't in Lord Kobila's charge, I'd have you whipped for your lies and dragged behind a horse all the way to Ratai. But whoever you might be hiding behind, next time I'll do just that. Now get out! Take care.
Береги себя!
Enter. Huh? By the horn, Joshua, you startled me. I thought you were urban. What do you want?
Sir Tobias Fayfar, the master builder and engineer from Skalitz, sends his greetings.
Fayfar? Tobias Fayfar? I've heard of him. He invented an interesting mining machine. What does he need?
Sir, have you heard what's been going on in Talmberg?
I've heard a thing or two. Is it true the castle's been taken?
It has, and we want to take it back. Master Fayfar has been given the task of building a trebuchet, but he's not sure he can manage it.
I doubt it myself. Building siege engines is an entirely different kettle of fish than mining. Damn, I'd like to rain some boulders on those heathens of Sigismund's. But that can't be done with a quill and parchment, and I can't leave here right now.
Why can't you leave?
That's a long story. I was a little, more than a little, critical of Sigismund's efforts at Nicopolis. And it might surprise you to know, after that defeat, he didn't particularly appreciate my criticism. Then, when Sigismund abducted the king, I didn't feel too secure in Prague, so I left. Perhaps left is the wrong word. Some might say I was banished. In any case, I went to Bethlern Castle.
They locked you up in Bethlern?
Not quite. It's a royal castle. They leave me to my own devices there. Frankly, this so-called banishment has been a bit of a blessing. I have peace and quiet to attend to my opus and a band of able assistants. Although I have lost quite a few of my patrons, thanks to all this unrest.
And why are you here in Sassa?
To be honest, I need the money.
Money, sir? You don't seem like a man who lives in want.
Dear me, no. I don't need it to support myself. It's to fund my opus. That's why I agreed to help with the construction of the monastery. So you see, I can't simply take my leave.
What is it you're working on, sir?
Belli Fortis. A great book of war machines and weapons. My opus magnum, my legacy. All you have seen here are but snippets of my great work. Mark my words. One day, our whole world will be run by machines and inventions not yet dreamed of.
Of course. Any day now, they'll plough our fields and milk our cattle.
What did you say?
Oh, nothing. Just thinking aloud about things for battle. Could I help you escape, perhaps?
Who says I want to?
But you said you couldn't leave, sir.
Young man, I can't leave because I gave my word I'd help with the building of the monastery here. And my word is my bond. I have no intention of sneaking away like some criminal.
Who do you work for here?
My contract is with the abbot himself, but I discussed the work details with Carol, the monastery's master builder.
Could I not just pay off the master builder for your services?
I doubt it. Carol is only interested in the construction. As long as he has the money to pay the craftsman's wages, that's all he needs.
Ah, as long as he has enough for wages, you say.
What are you thinking?
Couldn't Carol be persuaded somehow? After all, the defence of the province is at stake.
I realize that, but Sassa Monastery has always kept its neutrality. What's more, the abbot isn't here at present, and without his permission, Carol won't be persuaded. But I might have another idea.
What do you suggest?
Carol received his commission in writing. If you found it, we could copy the abbot's seal and signature on our own document.
That's a curiously interesting idea.
My inventiveness has many applications. I could be back here before the abbot, so he won't even know I was gone.
How do I get my hands on the commission?
It will be somewhere in his quarters. You'll need to get it quickly and put it back before he notices it's gone. I suggest waiting until evening. That's when Carol usually goes to the tavern to play dice. He's fond of his dice. Maybe you can take advantage of that somehow.
Right. I'll see what I can do.
Удачно, что сейчас вечер.
You really can't come with me right away?
Damn. I'd like to rain some boulders on those heathens of Sigismund's, but that can't be done with a quill and...
I'll try and find some way of getting you out of here.
Look here, I don't want any trouble. You better talk to Corral, the master builder.
Так. Как раз наклевывается вечер, и, похоже, опять все, что происходит вокруг монастыря, остается в монастыре. Но помимо этого, все, что происходит вокруг монастыря, связано с воровством, обманом и прочим звездецом. Такова жизнь, видимо. Еще я голодаю. Хотел же где-то перекусить, а в итоге забыл. Так. Ну, время вечер. Я думаю, он как раз уже смотался. Обычно в 8 у них заканчивается рабочий день. У всех по-разному. В некоторых магазинах в 6, в некоторых в 8. Но у него должность... О, он еще и дверь оставил открытую. Или это я оставил дверь открытую? Это было прям вообще легко. Я-то думал, опять придется ходить полгода.
Greetings. What do you need?
I've got that commission.
Not so loud, for heaven's sake. Show it here. The very thing. Go to the Sasau scribe and say to him the fox isn't half as clever as he thinks. Then he'll do as you ask.
Is that a password?
Just so. He insists on it. Don't forget to repeat it verbatim and aloud. Then all you have to do is take the new document to Carol and tell him a messenger brought it.
All right.
But most importantly, do it quickly and put the commission back immediately. Carol's no fool. If he can't find it, he'll put 2 and 2 together when you bring him the new document, and the game will be up.
Найти бы еще. Блин. Я думал, он копию сделал, а это не он копию сделал, господи. Так, надо попасть к писарю и очень-очень быстро. Очень-очень быстро, потому что в 9-10 они пойдут обратно. Эта тварь спать легла.
Who are you?
Какой хер тут могильщик?
What do you think you're doing? Get the hell out of here.
Я понял, какого хера. Он спит наверху, да? Да, на втором этаже. Вы мертвого заколебете со своими факелами. Кстати, были прецеденты. В звезду его. Утром порешаю. Есть же другой способ.
Henry!
Good day to you.
I hear you like to play dice.
Always.
A tankard of ale for me.
May the Lord over you. St. George guide my hand.
Хер тебе. В этот раз Сент-Джордж кинет тебя.
Fucked! Again! Those were my last goddamn groschen!
Нехер было играть.
Look on the bright side. They'll be safer in my hands.
Bastard!
Are you sure you won't release Conrad? You won't be gone long?
Not a chance.
Well, anyway, I've heard it said there's not enough money to finish the construction. So, I thought as a lover of architecture, I might contribute.
How the hell do you know that?
That's neither here nor there. The important thing is to let me help you.
How much will you give, damn you?
Сколько тебе надо?
Very well then. Kaiser can go.
It's been a pleasure doing business with you.
God be with you.
Музыка, продолжайся. Сейчас будет спецоперация. Или это не нужно? Сейчас посмотрим, если оно у меня... конь! Если оно у меня в сумке... конь! Гнида неповоротливая. Так, иное поручение, Карл. Еще никогда раньше я так быстро не возвращал предметы на место.
Yeah.
Фу. Послышалось, или тут кто-то орал прям? Ты чё? Нормально все?
They're after me! Sweet Jesus, I knew this day would come!
What? Who is... Carol said you can leave and...
Leave? I can't even set foot outside the door! Not now!
Please, calm down and tell me what's going on.
They're after me!
Who? Who's after you?
Sigismund's people, of course!
Why would they be after you?
Because he's never forgiven my criticisms of Nicopolis. Now he's decided to pay me back. What am I to do?
What makes you think someone's after you?
When I was on my way to Sassau, I saw Baron Pekar in Kosterlitz. He was with Sigismund on the crusade, as was I. Now I've been told he was seen at the local tavern. And a stranger's been creeping around the gardens here late at night. My God, there are signs someone was trying to force the door. They're after me, Henry. The Lord preserve me. They want to kill me.
Take it easy. If someone's after you, I'll see to him. I'll have a sniff around the town or lie in wait for him.
I don't know. What if he sneaks past you?
He won't, I promise. I'll hide in the garden, and if anyone starts creeping around after dark, I'll catch him.
You will, won't you? Good, good. And be sure to hide well. If he sees you, he won't come.
О, все чудесатее и чудесатее. Что же это за человек-то такой? Как же он умудрился нажить себе столько дивных ситуаций в своей короткой, в принципе, жизни. Короче, время 4 утра, я тут просидел всю ночь, и сдается мне, что не сработает, потому что конь. Наверное, это был лишний объект в локации. Ну, типа, если локация перед дверью чиста, проверка, тогда идет скрипт. Если что-то есть, какое-то существо НПС, то тогда нет. Зря я коня припарковал. Ну, кто же знал? Ладно, значит будем караулить на следующую ночь, а сегодня будем решать проблему с лоханкой. Чей вот это конь? Все время было интересно.
Sir, I am...
Henry of Skalitz, from the garrison of the royal hetman, Sir Radzig Kobyla. I've heard a lot about you, my son. I'm pleased to meet you.
Bishop Yaroslav? Sir? My lord, to what do I owe your interest in my humble self?
I was told you survived the massacre in Skalitz and warned the Talmberg garrison. You tracked down the raiders of a stud farm in Neuhof, wasn't it? To their hideout in the woods. And then you led Sir Radzig and his armed company there and joined bravely in the skirmish, and even killed their notorious leader by your own hand. And I believe you have many other deeds to your name. That's quite remarkable, considering your age, is it not?
I had some unsettled accounts to deal with. And I still do.
Mm-hmm. You're clearly not lacking in determination. A word of caution, though. Fervor can easily lead to recklessness. Nevertheless, I assume you came on account of Johanka.
Yes.
Then tell me what's on your mind.
Why did you have her imprisoned?
Because she broke the promise she made to me and persisted in actions that bear the signs of heresy.
And what will happen to Johanka now?
I must weigh the gravity of her transgressions and investigate these alleged visions of hers. I consider it very improbable that she is indeed being visited by the Blessed Virgin. Nevertheless, I cannot at this time rule it out entirely.
So you think it could be true? In that case, Johanka hasn't done anything wrong.
It's not that straightforward. Even if her visions were real, she was at fault for interpreting them as she saw fit and preaching to the people.
When will you decide, Monsignor?
As soon as I am fully informed of the facts. Although it seems the matter is a little more complicated than I first thought. I will call Johanka and the witnesses, question them, and then pronounce a verdict.
And if you decide she's guilty, will you have her burned at the stake?
Good gracious, no. I have no wish to see her die. As St. Augustine said, heretics should be saved, not put to death. The triumph of the Church is their salvation, not their death, even if they deserve it. If I find her guilty of any heresy, she will be punished, but the severity of her punishment will depend on her will to repent and make amends.
I see. And will there be anyone there to defend Johanka?
Do you doubt my judgment?
I would never be so bold, sir. But surely it would be only just that someone should speak for Johanka about all her good deeds and so forth?
Naturally, I will also question those who would speak in her defense. Since you are interceding, I expect you have someone in mind?
Yes. Actually, me.
As I surmised. But this matter does not directly concern you. Why should I allow you to appear before the court?
Johanka is my neighbour, and I have a Christian duty to come to her aid. I can't just stand by and do nothing.
I have to concur with you on that. Your concern seems sincere, so I will grant your request. Very well. You will defend Johanka. You may speak in her defense if you so wish, and you may also bring witnesses. I will question any such witnesses, and naturally I shall question Johanka too.
Thank you, Monsignor. In that case, I'll need to speak to Johanka first.
That won't be possible. It's forbidden by the Inquisition procedure. Until the entire matter is resolved, Johanka can speak only to me, and no one else. I would like to expedite the matter. The trial will take place in Sassaw Church in 3 days' time at the latest. Come and let me know when you're ready to proceed, In the meantime, I will continue my investigation.
Very well, Monsignor. I had better get on with it then, sir. Farewell.
Before you go, you know Johanka longer than anyone else. You spent a lot of time with her, as I've discovered. Tell me, my son, truthfully, what do you think of this whole affair?
Johanka is an honest girl, and virtuous. She's a good Christian, who attends church and thinks of others.
Good. Please continue.
Johanka helped a lot of people. She worked her fingers to the bone helping Brother Nicodemus with the sick and injured.
That is certainly commendable. What else can you tell me about her?
About the Virgin Mary? I believe the Virgin does visit her. Johanka is honest. She wouldn't lie about such a thing. And the things she says sound truthful and compelling. It really does seem like a heavenly revelation. Who else could it be from? But the Virgin Mary.
The origin of these so-called visions of hers must be investigated. But thank you for your candor. Is there anything else you can tell me?
She's worried about Matthias. He's from Skalitz too, and she's very fond of him. But he was wounded in a raid on Merhojed recently, and since then he's been lying in a fever. Johanka believes that if she does what the Blessed Virgin wants of her, Matthias might be healed.
Interesting. Anything else?
That's about all I can tell you.
You speak of her as if she should be beatified. I find it hard to believe she's as saintly as all that. I have a feeling you're hiding something from me.
Well, before, in Skalitz, Johanka was sort of, well, just a simple village girl. I never imagined I'd hear her talking the way she does now. She's completely transformed.
A simple village girl. I see. Do continue.
That's about all I can tell you.
Is that really everything?
I have nothing more to add, Monsignor.
Very well. Thank you, my son. One more thing before you go. Let me remind you that it's your Christian duty to report anything suspicious going on concerning the Church and the true faith, if you're aware of anything of the sort in these parts. If you prove yourself a commendable servant of the Church, I would also take that into account in judging Johanka's case.
All right, Monsignor. I'll bear that in mind.
May the Lord watch over you.
Да, вляпалась она, конечно. Потому что если я не разобью лицо тому попугаю в красной куртке, то, скорее всего, он всех заложит. А вот эта вот любовная связь ее, она ей очень сильно аукнется. Прям очень сильно аукнется. Ну, ее точно сожгут. Вот в такую вот штуку посадят. И вот так вот подвесят. Так. Что вы мне накидали? Скажи инквизитору, когда ты будешь готов к суду. Свидетельские показания пана Себастьяна. Свидетельские показания Рихтара Гашика. Фабиана. Боже мой. Сколько всего надо собрать, чтобы ее не прибили к херам собачьим. Так, ну у меня все равно есть время до следующего дня. А эти все ребята, они как бы здесь. А F это что такое? Свидетельские показания брат Никодим. Ну, брат Никодим, конечно... Вот только к нему и надо съездить, по сути, а потом вернуться сюда, пробежаться здесь и уже это... Да? Да. Чё, конечно, готов? К очередному интересному путешествию.
What are you doing here? Tired of life?
Ow.
Fuck it! Fuck! I'm over here.
С добрым утром.
Brother Nicodemus,
You've heard something?
the Inquisitor has decided that Johanka will be tried, but he's agreed that I can defend her.
That's really quite unusual. It must mean he hasn't come to a clear conclusion yet.
Yes. I'll get her out of it.
I'm afraid it may not be that easy. The thing is, I expect Johanka will say the same things before the court that she's been preaching.
What are you saying?
Well, I've been thinking about what she's been saying, and it seems to me her preaching has a certain progression. Are you acquainted with the notion of the three orders of man?
Not really, no.
It's like this. It's said that everyone has their God-given place and purpose on earth. Laboratores, oratores, and bellatores. Those who work, those who pray, and those who fight. The common folk are born to work, to reap the fruits of the earth and to obey the laws of God and man. It is the purpose of the nobles to protect the people and the church against all dangers and to maintain peace and justice on earth. And the church in turn has the task of caring for the spiritual welfare of all, ensuring the salvation of their souls and bringing solace to the people in times of hardship, so that they can endure their earthly trials and enter the kingdom of heaven.
But what's all that got to do with Johanka?
Well, I noticed in her first sermon she primarily addressed the concerns of the common folk, and in the second, she criticized the nobility.
Ah. So you think she might start talking about the church?
Yes, I'm afraid she might. I dread to think how that might end up. Henry, you must warn her against that. She must show humility before the Inquisitor, and the wisest course would be to admit to being wrong. She's rather stubborn, but perhaps she'll listen to you.
But the Inquisitor said no one's allowed to see her.
No one except the Inquisitor's own men. You'll just have to think something up. I'm afraid Johanka's fate is mainly in your hands now. I'm relying on you.
Ой, дерево. Целую сценку запороли. Короче, убеждать ее отречься от веры. Я вас понял. Но это одна точка зрения. Погоди, а свидетельские показания? Давай-ка ты мне не только свои суждения выскажешь, а еще что-то полезное.
Witnesses can be summoned for Johanka's trial. So I wanted to ask you if you'd give a testimony. Maybe some learned speech in her defense?
I'd be glad to do it. Johanka deserves my help. Such testimonies could carry a lot of weight. You should try and get as many as you can.
Adela, the Inquisitor is going to try Johanka in court.
Oh, Lord. I hope she's acquitted. I was absolutely devastated when they took her away.
I need people to speak in her defense, and I'd like to ask you to do it.
I don't want to go there. Really. I'm afraid of that Inquisitor. But you helped me, and so did Johanka. It's only right that I should try and help her. But what am I supposed to say there? I'm just a simple village girl. I don't know anything about these things.
That doesn't matter. You just be yourself. It should be enough to talk about all the good Johanka does here, and how she helps others. I'll send for you if you're needed.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Теперь самое интересное. Нужно взять свидетельские показания того хера, на которого я какого-то хера наорал. Хотя вообще-то я просто забыл об этом, и по квесту я с ней даже разговаривать не должен был. Про то, что они шпёхались там. Так, этот все нервничает. Я надеюсь, этой ночью я все сделаю правильно.
Good day.
I need something from you, sir. I suppose you heard that Johanka was locked up by the Inquisitor and is facing charges of heresy.
I did, and it's most disturbing news.
What you might not know is that he's agreed that I can defend her at the trial.
You? Do you even know what to say?
Sure I know. It'll turn out just fine. Trust me. But I need you to testify at the court. In Johanka's defense, of course.
Naturally. You don't think I could just sit here and do nothing? Besides, the bishop has already insisted that I appear before the court.
Oh. All right.
One moment. I apologize if I was a little hasty. This whole affair has left me anxious. I appreciate that you want to defend her. However, I don't think it would have any effect. No offense, but I don't think you'll be able to achieve anything in court. I'm afraid the Inquisitor will judge as he sees fit, whatever anyone says. But I have an idea how you could help.
Oh? How's that?
Flee. With Johanka, of course.
No, I don't think that's a good idea. I'm sure Johanka will be acquitted by the court and everything will be all right. Running would just confirm the Inquisitor's suspicions, and she'd always be looking over her shoulder.
I don't agree. As I said, I don't believe you can affect the outcome of the court. If Johanka flees, yes, she'll have to lie low for a while, but in time it will all blow over. You can take her anywhere, as long as it's far enough from here. A girl like that will always find her feet. She can easily hide out somewhere where she's not known. Maybe there could even be a place for her on my estate. Think about it. But whatever you decide, if Johanka comes to any harm, you'll have me to answer to. I'm very fond of her, and her of me, and I don't want anything to happen to her, understand? But if everything ends well, I'll show you my gratitude, I assure you. Farewell.
Девочку себе купить задумал. Фу, на тебя. В моем поместье. Ей и в моем поместье будут рады. Шучу.
Goodman Pavel, you're still here. That's a relief. I was afraid I'd miss you.
Yes, still here, but not for long. I had some business to deal with, but now that's out of the way and I'm getting ready to leave. What was it you wanted?
You might have heard that Johanka was arrested by the Inquisitor and is facing trial.
Indeed, word has reached me. Poor girl.
I'd like to ask you to speak to the court in Johanka's defense.
Of course, Henry. You have my word. And the word of a burgher of Colleen ought to mean something. But to speak in defense of someone accused of heresy is no small matter. What do you want me to say?
The same thing you told me. That it was a sacred sign that you happened to be nearby when Johanka was speaking, and so on.
True. I'll tell the bishop that. You can rest assured.
Thank you very much. Please wait here a few more days for the court to convene, then I'll send for you.
All right. For Johanka's sake, I'll wait. Good luck then.
А ежели не сработает, я их всех топором порешу.
God save you, Henry.
И вас туда же.
Master Bailiff, Inquisitor Yaroslav is going to try Johanka.
I know. He was here asking questions, too.
Oh? What did he want to know?
Various things. Like how things are here, whether people are honest, whether we observe the fest days, and so forth. And then he asked about Johanka. About what she preaches, whether people come to listen to her and that. He's been talking to a lot of other people in Sasau, too. I even heard that Katra, the swordsmith's wife, invited him to dine with them.
That's interesting. Thanks for telling me. Was he just asking questions, or does he want you to testify before the court?
Yes, he did ask me to testify, and I'm none too happy about it.
I see. And what are you going to say about her?
It depends what I'm asked, but there's not much I can say. I don't know Johanka very well. She seems virtuous and self-sacrificing to me. She's never done anything wrong, and no one here ever had a cross word to say about her. Until recently. Maybe some gossip about her and Sir Sebastian. But I've heard similar talk about half the women folk here.
Now that's just idle gossip. Johanka is a virtuous girl.
True. But then there's that preaching of hers. Folk have been falling out. They're split according to whether they believe Johanka or not. I don't know quite what to think of it myself. But I don't want to jump to conclusions. I'll wait and see what the learned bishop has to say.
Couldn't you add something good to your testimony for Johanka? I would, show my gratitude substantially.
What? Are you trying to bribe me to commit perjury? The Inquisitor will hear how you're going about defending Johanka.
Good lord, no. I wouldn't dream of it. I expressed myself badly, that's all. What I was trying to say, rather clumsily, is that I'd be very glad if you were to speak on Johanka's behalf, because she really deserves it.
Well, I'll overlook your clumsiness then.
Thank you, Master Bailiff.
God be with you.
Meat, cured and fresh, from the woods or from the pen. It all tastes delicious.
How are
Welcome,
you, Henry?
Good afternoon.
I need your help with something. I'm sure you've heard. Johanka was locked up by the Inquisitor.
Who hasn't? The whole of Sasau is talking about it. And the Inquisitor was asking around about her.
I'd like to ask you to appear before the court and say something in Johanka's defense.
I can't say I'm keen on going there. But Johanka helped me. And you did too. I think it's only right that someone should say something good about her.
Ah, thanks, Guta. I appreciate it. I'll send for you when it's time.
God be with you.
Так, куча народу мы тут помогли. Куча. Так, что-то я пока начинал с ней говорить, я о ком-то еще подумал. О ком-то или о чем-то. А, у нее еще реплика, и, возможно, у Лихтаржа тоже реплика про этого была.
Do you know anything about a master pay car?
That nobleman that showed up recently. They say he's staying at the local inn.
God be with you.
Это задание висит. Так, Пейчар остановился. Может быть, удастся узнать про Пейчара поболее. Так, что еще? Кто еще? Отец Фабиан, а он каким боком? Ага, она в тюрьме, но с ней я не свяжусь. А там кто? Жена оружейника.
Do you know anything about a master pay car?
I'm afraid not.
Father, the Inquisitor has had Johanka thrown in jail.
I know, son.
He's planning a hearing.
Rightly so. It's about time this whole matter was dealt with.
What do you think about it, then?
As I say, it's a good thing that the matter is being investigated. The things Johanka has been preaching are, to say the least, disturbing. Who knows what these dreams are that she speaks of? And her words are only putting ideas in people's heads and leading them astray. Now, instead of going to church, as they should, they go to her in the false belief that they will find solace. It's creating a chasm between the people and the church and leading them away from the true teaching left to us by Christ. They're misguided and swamped in heretical ideas.
But Johanka is only saying what the Virgin Mary has told her. What can be wrong with that?
And how do you know the Virgin is really talking to her?
Well, I believe she's telling the truth.
Ah, but you can't be sure, can you? Do you really think a girl from the stable knows God's teaching better than the church? Better than the generations of church fathers and learned scholars since the time of Christ? Who have studied the sacred scriptures and their correct interpretation? With all the evil that's already going on in this province, the last thing people need is a false prophet.
Christ also came from a stable, though.
There's no comparison. Christ was the Son of God. Enough of this. Bishop Yaroslav asked me to present my suspicions before the court, and that's what I intend to do. He will then resolve the whole matter. He is, after all, more qualified than anyone to do so.
If you say so, Father.
Farewell.
Так, его можно придушить, но не убить. А жаль. Если бы он исчез в местных лесах, вот где-то там, в районе бандитского лагеря, это было бы удобненько. Удобненько, но, наверное, слишком заметненько. Так, разговаривать с ней самой, ну это... Это надо договариваться об этом разговоре. И о чем с ней разговаривать? Ее переубеждать? Нет, переубеждать я ее не собираюсь. По поводу Пейчара. Ночью я его, значит, если это он... Я его не подловил, но тем не менее я про него узнал что-то, да? И, скорее всего, он там сидит в корчме. Ладно, но сначала давай доедем до жены кузнеца.
I'm here about Johanka.
You're that fella of hers, are you? What do you want?
No. I'm just a friend of hers. Matthias is her fella.
Huh. God knows how many she has.
I heard you invited Bishop Yaroslav to come and dine with you?
Yes, so what? Bishop Yaroslav is an esteemed visitor to Sasau, and it's only fitting he should be suitably hosted by devout burghers.
What have you got against Johanka?
Nothing. The question is, what has she got against us? Tell me that.
What?
She turns up here and tries to tell us how to live our lives. Says the Virgin Mary whispers to her in the night. Yeah, I'm sure. To a simple village wench. I'd like to know who's really putting those ideas in her head. She's just getting people all worked up. Men, especially. Coming around here with her nonsense. Sasau is a decent, orderly place, I'll have you know. We don't want any trouble here. All this talk about hellfire and the end of the world. God have mercy. No one is interested in what she has to say. All they want is some spectacle. She ought to have thought twice before she started. Not that she wasn't warned.
What do you mean, warned?
As I said, she was told.
Damn it, woman, tell me what you meant by that.
I didn't mean anything by it.
Out with it!
If you must know, some of the fellas want to have it out with her and tell her to stop. No one wants her speeches here. But would she listen? No. The devil possessed her to bring harm to us.
So it was you who sent those men?
All I wanted was to protect the Sasau folk against her poisonous tongue. And I'll do just that. The Monsignor asked me to testify in court. And I'll tell everything I know there.
And I'll do likewise. Farewell.
Go. Take care.
Из 6 2 минуса, 4 плюса. Но наверняка будут еще непредсказуемые элементы. Слышь, может, ты с бабой своей побеседуешь? Что-то она у тебя много думать начала.
God almighty, has something happened to you? Did someone steal your fancy clothes?
Нормально все с одеждой.
Good luck then.
Нет, не побеседует он со своей бабой.